The Thousand Suns are quite a high skill army. They're deemed hard to pilot, but if you master it, it pays off and they're very strong. Magnus himself is quite the GOAT, greatest of all time, he carries his army well. But what if Magnus was actually a goat farmer? What after the Horus Heresy had enough? That's the idea here. Magnus the goat farmer. Here we go. By the way, thank you for all the support on the videos before. The meat grinder is doing so good. I'm pretty sure it's over 50k by the time of filming, and I'm pretty sure GW owes me for this one because no one likes a Tzaangor. Let's see what people think after this. So quick army rule, we are the Cabal Sorcerers. General summary is in the Thousand Suns, your leaders have the keyword Cabal Sorcerers. They can perform a ritual. You can pick a dude that's not done a ritual and then pick a ritual that's already been manifested. You can choose to roll 2d6 nice and safe or risk it, roll 3 dice for a better value. But on dubs and trips, you take mortal wounds. Some things you can pick are things like Warp Charge, which can allow you to reroll hits of 1 on an enemy target for your army, or have full hit rerolls into that target. You've got things like Temporal Surge, which gives you better movement. Doom Bolt, we all know Doom Bolt, guaranteed mortal wounds into targets. And then probably the thing we care about the most in this army will be the Twist of Fate, where you can improve AP by 1 or maybe even 2 onto a target for your entire army, which, being honest, Tzaangor kinda suck in the AP department. Our detachment rule is really big and wordy, but very simple. That you refer to the term Tzeentch Mutant Infantry and Tzeentch Mutant Mounted Units. Fancy way of saying Tzaangor or Tzaangor on disc. So your Tzaangors have 2 abilities here in the top 2 paragraphs. When they attack, you can sacrifice D3 mortal wounds into your unit, which is basically going to be D3 normal Tzaangor to get +1 to wound. Or you can do the same thing again to get -1 to wound, which makes your Tzaangor way tankier than they have any right being. In addition, your normal Tzaangor become battle line, where you can run up to 6 units, and if they're not battle shocked, they get +1 to objective control, putting them up to 2. Stratagems real quick. Gifted Change lets you convert a dead character into a unit of Tzeentch Chaos Spawn. Kinda cool, kinda funny. Warp, whatever that is, Warp Vasectomy probably. Your opponent's shooting or fight phase, one of your big blobs of Tzaangor can get a 4-up invuln. That's pretty good. Deranged Ferocity increases your pile and consolidation up to 6 inches, and the actual measurement for fighting dudes is 3 inches instead of 1st and 2nd rank. Blessed Transmutations lets you return Tzaangors back to a unit. Touched by Tzeentch can give you advance and charge, and probably the best thing here by far in the army would be Twisted Mirage, where one of your Tzeentch mutant units, arriving from strategic reserves, can be put anywhere on the battlefield as it was nearly like Deep Strike, 6 inches away from your enemy, or 9 if they have a monster. Starting off with your Tzaangor, your battle line, we're running 2 bricks of 10 and 4 bricks of 20. They come in at 70 points for a small one, or 160 for the big one. These guys move 6 inches, they're T4 like a Space Marine, 6-up invuln and save, not great, 1 wound, leadership 7, and would be OC 2 if you're not battle shocked. In terms of war gear, you have the Tzaangor blade, which you can trade out for a chainsword and a pistol on all of them. I think the chainsword and the pistol is the way to go, gives you at least some range and melee. These guys are quick, they all have Scout 6, meaning turn 1, they've already moved at least 12 inches, so put them on that deployment line and run up the board. The rule is very powerful, and that's why you want to run Tzaangor. At the end of your opponent's turn, if you're more than 6 inches away, you can go into reserves, and you can come back, and even with your stratagem, you can kind of have Deep Strike if you need to. Great movement, great action monkeys. With 6-up invuln, they can kind of damage a lot, and if you give them -1 to wound, they're kind of hard to remove, and stack that with the 4-up invuln, they're oddly tanky. Then we have the Tzaangor Enlightened with the Great Bow. Not gonna lie, these guys are probably the MVP for a lot of people. They are powerful and they actually do see play in real lists. So 6 models 110, we're doing that 3 times over. They move quicker at 10 inches. They have at least a 5-up invuln now and they have 2 wounds. That's pretty good. But they're here for the Great Bow. 30-inch range, 2 shots at 5.22 with lethal hits, ignores cover and precision. They are made to bully characters all day long, and they have very active movers and ability. Remember, you're running 18 models here. That's 36 shots like that. That is absolute harassment. Then we have Tzaangor Enlightened, just regular dudes. They are the same as before, but they are melee instead of ranged, and they have mortal wounds on the charge. I'm running 1 little brick here of 3 just to fill out the points really. But you run them with the Divining Spear. Your lance precision at 5.12. That's okay melee, it'll buy you time. In terms of characters, we are running the Tzaangor Shaman 3 times over at 60 apiece. Similar stat line you've already seen, 10-inch move, T4, 5-up invuln, but now you have 4 wounds. Very weird shooting and melee profile. The shooting 18 inches D6 at 901. kind of odd, but it does have Dev Wound. Melee is just a bonking stick like a staff. Two of them have two upgrades here. One of them has the Warp Melt Dagger, where you can sacrifice D3 dudes again to get +1 to your ritual results, meaning when you're casting Doom Bolt, other things, even better. And one of them has -1 to hit on the unit. Stack that with -1 to hit, -1 to wound. Maybe that's the same unit that gets the 4-up invuln. That is a brick and a half. In terms of ruling, whatever they're leading, they have +1 to hit, and you can also sacrifice a bodyguard to give this character D3 extra attacks and strength on his psychic weapons, so you could maybe have a strength 12 shooting profile with extra hits. That's not bad. Then we have Exalted Sorcerer on the disc. He himself is not a goat, but he's one of the farmhands. Normal Space Marine profile here, but has a 4-up invuln and a lot of wounds at 6. He is here because he's got some great shooting, a terrifying flamethrower at 6'2", D3 damage. At 18 inches, what a menace, a great bolt pistol. He has good melee, has a bonking stick as well, but he's here because he kind of gives your dude lone op, but at 18 inches makes it harder for your opponent to interact with, and his ability will slow down your opponents once he hits them. Then we have a regular sorcerer here with upgrade Bray Lord, which lets him attach to Tzaangor. Then he can give that big blob of Tzaangor lethal hits, helps your low strength weapons on the Tzaangor trade up. Plus, with your +1 to wound, even better. Additionally, you can activate his one-shot ability, where he can get +3 to attack and strength on his psychic weapons, meaning his bolt pistol goes up to 4 shots at strength 7, his other gun goes up to 9 shots at strength 8, his melee goes up to 7 hits at strength 9 as well. That's pretty decent. Then we have Magnus the Goat Farmer, the leader of the army, of course, our warlord. Big fat movement at 14, T11, 2-up save, 4-up invuln, and a lot of wounds at 16. He has Deep Strike, he has Cabal, he can do it all. His weapons are terrifying. The Gaze of Magnus is a scary 24-inch gun at 11-3 with Dev Wound. His flamethrower is also 24 inches at D6+3 shots with blast and rolls cover at 612. His melee is anti-tank or sweep. The anti-tank is terrifying at 16-3. Everything has Dev Wound. This guy's a menace. He has a lot of rules here. You can pick your unearthly power, so you can pick something on the left side of his data sheet, but I feel a lot of people pick Impossible Form, which gives them -1 damage. It's pretty strong. And then you've got Lord of the Planet of the Sorcerers, where you can attempt to do 2 rituals and you add 2 to your results, meaning Magnus can give your army very reliably improved AP into a target, or Doom Bolt as well. And that's what your army looks like. Magnus in the middle, you've got 3 units of Great Bow, 2 led by shamans, 1 by a sorcerer on disc. You have 4 blobs of 20 Tzaangor, 2 led by a shaman and a normal sorcerer, and 2 blobs of 10 and a single little half blob of normal Tzaangor Enlightened. Pros and cons to this dumb idea. Magnus can finally retire, live the simple life. 10,000 years has not been great to him. Very good model count. The plus wound and -1 to wound is very powerful. The strats are pretty decent as well, very flavorful. Cabal rituals are just good, uninteractive damage is always strong. The actual battle lines Tzaangor are pretty good for 160 points, I feel. You get a lot of things out of them. Scoring is great, you have quite a mobile battle line model that can get around the board and hard to remove. And like I said, they're fast with that Scout 6. And the anti-character is kind of unreal with all the great bows. The negative, the Tzaangor. People don't like the Tzaangor whatsoever. There was a point where they were like in every box set for the 1,000 Suns and no one really wanted them. Are they pricey? Maybe, because no one buys Tzaangor anymore, but they used to be cheap for a while there. Painting will suck because you're painting like 100+ dudes that are little fleshy guys. Army, really low AP unless you're using your really high ritual. Low strength because you're just pretty much Tzaangor club beating stick. Very squishy unless you have your -1 to wound and your invuln 4 going on. And outside of the detachment, I don't know how much of this you could use in a normal army. I know the Great Bows and Magnus see play, but the rampant amount of Tzaangor, I don't know if they'd see play. And that is Magnus the Goat Farmer. Another very dumb idea. Don't try it at all. You will not win games. If you do, shame on your opponent. It's fun. It's flavorful. Are they goat men or bird men or both? I don't know. It's very man, bear, pig going on. Yeah, another dumb idea. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. It helps out the channel a lot. Maybe sub. And to my patrons, thank you so much for your support. Next video ideas are the Brainless Admech, the dumbest smart people you know, the Towerless Tau, we have Orcs at Home, or Hammer Go Bonk. That's my next idea for the videos. We'll see. Alright, thank you guys and goodbye.